Hey everybody, it's Rob from Rob's Game Group. Welcome back to the channel. This is the only channel on YouTube that if you follow my advice, I guarantee that you will at least be the most okayest GM that your players have ever seen. This is episode 24 of A Look at the Book. And for the book that we are looking at today, we're going to have to dive all the way back to 1987. However, we don't actually have to go back to 1987 because thanks to the glorious invention of print on demand, we can get our hands now on older books and use them in our current games. So the book that we're going to be talking about today is one that I got off of DriveThruRPG a couple weeks ago, and I've been buying up a lot of the old, mainly the old basic D&D stuff because it melds very well with basic fantasy, which I use. But it also works well with White Box, Swords and Wizardry, I believe the Osric stuff. A lot of the retro clones will convert very easily and work with the old basic D&D stuff. And then of course there's more the was it Golden Glory as a retro clone of second edition D&D. But there's changes between basic and first edition D&D, but not so many changes that you can't easily convert first edition books back to a basic system like Basic Fantasy or White Box or what have you. And that's kind of what I'm doing because I do like those systems, but I like this content as well. And being able to get my hands on some of these old books that I have not owned or never owned for many years, it is a thrill for me. And the one we're going to be talking about today is the Bestiary of Dragons and Giants. This is AC-10. It's a game accessory for characters of all levels, and it is on DriveThruRPG right now. The PDF is like $5. The print-on-demand version, this one, is $10. And yes, I know the print-on-demands don't hold the same value collector-wise as the originals, but I'm okay with that because I don't really collect RPGs or game books in general for their monetary value. It's just more of stuff that I like to be able to have in my collection to use. And I find this book to be very useful, which is why I'm doing a look at the book on this today. This is, you can tell from the logo, based on basic Dungeons and Dragons. It is a Bestiary of Dragons and Giants, which AC9 I think was the creature catalog, and this followed it. And this is again close to, like the Gazetteers, close to the end of the run for basic Dungeons and Dragons, and some of their last attempts to sell that before everything went over to first edition. First edition had already started at this point, I believe, or was about to. And it says it's a Bestiary of Dragons and Giants, but unlike the creature catalog, which was like your monster manual, this isn't really like that, and it's not like the bestiaries that we know today that are, for all intents and purposes, a monster manual, whether it's for Pathfinder or whatever. This is more like, it's a collection of short adventures that focus on either dragons or giants, and each one focuses on a different type. And most of these little scenarios can be played potentially within 1 or 2 sessions, depending on how fast your party moves through things or dies horribly. But I will read from the back of the book. It's a D&D official game accessory, Bestiary of Dragons and Giants. Red Dragon, Storm Giants, Dragon Rulers, Frost Giants, they're all here in this book, in complete, ready-to-play mini-adventures. No matter what level your characters are, there is something here for you and them. Need a diversion? Want to spice up a long-running campaign? Want to play but don't have more than an hour or so? This book is for your gaming group. As Dungeon Master, you have everything you'll need to play right at your fingertips. As players, you'll have challenges worthy of your characters. This book has something for everyone. This product includes a random spell generator for dragons complete with instructions. This is necessary for the Dungeons and Dragons Basic, Expert, Companion Masters, and Immortal BECMI sets produced by TSR. The adventures contained herein cannot be used without these rule sets. Maybe. So there's another way to play old school as well. You can also get like the rule cyclopedia. I believe you can get it print on demand, and it's around maybe 20, 25 bucks, something like that. But the rule cyclopedia did kind of take all the BECMI stuff and put it into one book for you. So if you really want to play old school, that's the old school rules. You could just go get it and play. However, if you're playing a retro clone, you can, any of the OSRs really that focus on the BECMI style gaming, you can easily use these old products, the Gazetteers, even some of the first edition stuff with very little conversion work to play with them. I'm actually going to do some of this with Ravenloft, which was first edition, and use it with Basic Fantasy. But we'll get more into that in another video. So let's look at the book. What comes in it. So like I said, original retail price on this was $8.95. You can get the print on demand now for $10. And let's see, this clocks in at right at 70 pages. And one of the first things you see in the back of the book is a chart on common dragons. And then this was which I guess you could still do. You can take these pages out if you wanted to do the random spell generation, and it tells you how to construct the generator, and you kind of fold it over and use it like a slide scale for generating random spells. But you don't have to do that. It was just something they did back in the day. Let's see, what else is in the back of the book? And I do this because all of these print on demands, these original books used to come with these pullouts or maps and stuff like big poster maps, and they don't print those now. They print them as part of the book itself, which, I get it. Like the Ravenloft Realms of Terror box set has all the maps for the big poster map of the Demiplane of Dread, basically. And though they have those maps, it was originally a box set, and now it's a print-on-demand book. So they don't reproduce those maps as poster maps. They put them in the book. However, if you really need them, you could just show them to your players. But if you really need them to print them out and have the big maps on the table, you could also get the PDFs of these and print stuff out yourself. One of the pages in the back, which I really like, Bestiary of Dragons and Giants, relative sizes of dragons and giants. And it's a very nice, well done. There's your human-sized fighter there as compared to everybody else. Well, that was really cool. And the rest of the book is basically adventures, but we're going to start at the beginning in the table of contents. It gives us a list of the adventures that are in here. Now, I'm going to tell you what's in the book, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the adventures and how they're set up, but I'm not going to give anything away. That way, if you want to grab a copy of this for your game master or dungeon master and say, hey man, this is, maybe you want to do it as a gift, like here, I'd like to play some of these, for $10, that's awesome. Or maybe you are the game master or dungeon master and you want to grab these to use in your campaign. If your players happen to be watching any of these videos, I don't want to give stuff away, so I'm not going to, if I can help it. So we have a table of contents in the beginning, and then, how to use this book. Well, read it. That's how you use it. It tells you how the book is arranged, the importance of the morale system, which in current editions of D&D is not nearly as important as it used to be. And then you have a page, it starts a section on Dragons and Giants. And it has the art of GMing Giants, or DMing Giants. And it's just a full page talking about giant skills and different giant statistics and how to run giants. And then you get a little more than that. You get 2 pages basically on the art of dragons, or DMing dragons, in the next section. All of the interior art, of course, is black and white. But this 2-page section talks about dragon treasure evaluation, dragon magic, hatchlings, small dragons, adult dragons, huge dragons, dragons and PC relations. And then from there, we jump right into the adventures. And all of these have basically the same setup, where it'll have the name of the adventure, and then it has the primary monster that the adventure is designed around, and then it has the party levels that are appropriate for that adventure. And then you have the adventure set up, and it kind of works you through any encounters they have before meeting up with the big bad for that scenario. Like I said, a lot of these can be played in one session, but it may take 2 depending on how fast your party moves through it. So I'm basically just going to give you the name of the adventure, what monster it focuses on, party levels, and then move to the next one because I don't want to give away any spoilers. Yes, I know this was done in 1987, but through print on demand, you could be getting a copy of it now and using these old adventures with your players. So the first one is the Haunted Helm. Primary monster is a white dragon, and party levels appropriate for 1st through 4th level. The second one is called the Questing Barbarian. It is primary monster is a young mountain giant, party levels 1 through 4. And again, you got some great old school art in here. Well, I guess it's old school because that was the art that was actually in the book. Revelia and the Dragon Eggs. This is a monster is a black dragon, party levels 5th through 7th. So not everything in here is going to be for low level. Some of it's going to be mid to high level. Trouble in Tallstone Pass. This is a monster stone giant. It's a primary monster. Party levels 5 through 7. The Wizard in the Woods. Monster is a green dragon. Party levels are 8 through 11. Tip of the Iceberg. A frost giant is the primary monster. Party levels are 8 through 11. Crancy the Red. I actually read this one yesterday, I think, and I love this adventure. Unfortunately, my party's not high enough to play it because this is a monster. The primary monster is a red dragon, and party level is 12 through 15. So it's going to be a while before I can use this on my party. They're not quite that high a level yet. But it was a really good adventure. I enjoyed it. The Feud of the Fire Giants. Primary monster, surprisingly enough, a fire giant. Party levels 12 through 15. Alright, next up we have the Deluded Dragon. Primary monster is a gold dragon. Party levels 16 through 20. Alright, our next one is Prince Reynard and the Silver Staircase. Primary monster is a cloud giant. Party levels 7 through 10. Our next adventure is Thyralix and the Ruby Amulet. Primary monster is a ruby dragon. Party levels 21 through 25. And let's see. Isle of the Storm Giant. Primary monster is a storm giant. Party level 21 through 25. I love the name of this one. This one is called Fangs-a-Lot. Like Fangs-a-Lot. Primary monster is a dragon ruler. Party level 26 and up. Then this one, the Pestiferious Castle of Bodor and Swordstone. Primary monster is a mountain giant. Party levels 25 through 30. And it does provide maps in here for the adventure. And that is the last one before we get to the errata sheet for cutting out the, thanks to the printing error, not from Drive-Thru RPG, from back in the day, for the spell generator. So, like I said, this is very usable with, well, it's obviously usable with the Rule Cyclopedia. It's very usable with any of the retro clones of BECMI. And it's technically, I guess it's usable with, if you like playing more modern versions, 3rd edition up, 3rd edition, 4th edition, 5th edition. But you would have to take some time, a little more conversion with it, and look at the appropriate party levels and the monsters in there. Yes, you could just swap the monster stats out for current monster stats. But the current monsters are going to be most of the time stronger, or maybe they're weaker, but they're going to be different than they were back in the day. And that's when they say, okay, well, this is based on a party of 1 to 4, levels 1 to 4. Yeah, but the level 1 to 4 characters in basic D&D are a whole lot different than levels 1 to 4 in 5th edition. So the power level is going to change quite a bit, and you're going to have to do some work if you want to look at using this with a more current edition of D&D. It should work pretty seamlessly with retro clones or old school D&D itself. And then again, maybe you just want it for inspiration for an adventure you're running. And you can use this as simple drop-in adventures. You can use it maybe to start a campaign off. You can get a lot of use out of this book for $10. I think it's fantastic, and as somebody who loves to have these old retro books in my collection, I couldn't pass it up. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. If you have any questions about the stuff that's in the book or adventures or whatever, feel free to post them in the comments. Or you can contact me on Facebook at Rob's Game Group, all one word. I'll try to put the link in the video at the bottom in the comments or in the description. And that's it for this week. Until next time, good gaming and good luck.